Tingo Frank was born to Thomas and Marcena Frank in 1871 in Seminole County and passed away April 30th, 1951. Amanda Jones Frank was born to Nero and Lucinda Cox Jones on June 14th, 1874 in Pottawatomie County and passed away April 27th, 1960. Both Tingo and Amanda's burial place is located at the Frank Davis Cemetery, north of the Frank home place in Seminole County. Tingo and Amanda were married June 24th, 1895. They had a total of 10 children. Minnie Frank, born 1895 and passed away in 1896. A picture is not available, and the burial location is unknown. Joseph Edward Frank, born 1896 and passed away in 1968. He had 5 children. Nora Frank Long Deer, born 1898 and passed away in 1957. She had 3 children. Henry Frank, born 1900 and passed away in 1991. He had 2 children. William Frank, born in 1904 and passed away in 1926. He had no children. Cornelius E. Frank, born in 1906, passed away in 1996. He had no children. Cinda Frank, born in 1908 and passed away in 1909. A picture is unavailable. Burial location unknown. John Leslie Frank, born 1910 and passed away in 1993. He had 7 children. Ella Mae Frank Gabot, born 1912 and passed away in 1982. She had 3 children. Lucille Frank LeClaire, born in 1918 and passed away in 2002. She had 2 children. A small group of the members of the old Arbica town settled in a neighborhood where a small sub-town was formed and a ceremonial ground was established. The town chief of Old Arbica did not give his consent for the organization of this sub-town, but the usual procedure and customs were still followed. The ceremonial grounds were active until a number of members died during the smallpox epidemic. In 1890, a church movement was begun 1/4 mile northeast of the ceremonial grounds. It was then that members of this settlement began to take interest in the church work, and the ceremonial grounds began to recede in the background of their lives. The original site of the ceremonial grounds and the first church grounds of the Arbica Methodist Church was moved south of the old site. Reverend Tingo Frank was a member of the Arbica town and was the pastor of Arbica Methodist Church. History of the Arbica Church. About 3 miles south of the present site of the church, the mother of Reverend Tingo Frank, Marcina, lived, and it was there the Arbica Methodist Church had its beginning about 1884. The mother of Reverend Tingo Frank, being a Baptist preacher by the name of Reverend Jacob Knight, came to the house and started to hold service there. The place became a regular appointment there, preaching being held there regularly by this preacher. About the time the Reverend Thomas Little, a Methodist preacher, came over, he and the Reverend Jacob Knight held service at this home together. It was later, for some reason, the Reverend Jacob Knight left, and the Reverend Thomas Little took over and did all the preaching to the Indians, going from house to house and holding services. But the home of the Marcina was regarded as the regular meeting place, and it was there that the Arbica Church had its beginning as a Methodist church under the guidance of Reverend Thomas Little, who taught them to read the Bible and have a worship service each night and have a short worship service in the morning. Just northeast of the present church site, about 2 miles, was the old Arbica post office, and a general merchandise store was established and operated by Mr. J.R. and Alice Davis. A little east of the establishment was held the first quarterly conference, and the place of meeting was moved to this place. This was held in August of 1886. Miss Alice Davis was owner of a number of houses, and through her generosity, the members secured a house and held service there until about the year of 1891. A parcel of land was secured about half a mile north of the present church, and built the first church building and named the Arbica Church, by which the church has been known up to today. At this spot, as the story goes, was located the gathering place of Arbica Band, and there they held their medicinal festivities. And as the band dominated this locality, it went by the name of Arbica. But under the preaching of Reverend Thomas Little and others, the people were all converted to the Christian religion, and so the activities of the Arbica Stomp Ground ceased to be. And since the church building took its place there on the same spot, the church received the name Arbica, but it was destined to be moved. For it was not until the Allotment Act was passed by Congress, and by that, the site of the church was allotted to an individual, and from that site it was moved. This movement took place in the year 1908. Maintaining and upkeep of the cemeteries has been a struggle, and we have been blessed with Mr. Chad Hardrow, who is the great-grandson of Robert Jackson and the great-great-grandson of Sabre Jackson. Mr. Chad Hardrow has been maintaining the cemeteries for the past 2 years. We are very grateful for his work. Chad doesn't hesitate when called upon for his help, and he considers it an honor to do the service for the elders in our native heritage. Chad mentioned that there is so much history in the land and the cemeteries and wants to help as much as he can. We're hoping this video provides a better understanding of our family history for our younger family members as well as our older family members. Please continue to keep in touch with each other as often as you can, and continue telling the history of the Frank family in Arbika Church to our future generations.